Good morning, traders. TG Watkins here. It is February 22nd when I'm recording this, and I am in Vegas for the Traders Expo / Money Show, and I'm very excited to be here. I flew in late last night from Whistler, so went from ski vacation to now, the heart of Las Vegas for this big show. We've got the team here. I'm going to be down at the booth. I've got a masterclass in teaching with John Carter this morning, and so we've got lots of things going on, and even into Friday. So if you guys happen to be here or down in the area, come on by, say hi. Would love to put faces to some names and just hang out with people that we basically broadcast to all the time. It would be just great to see you guys and actually have some talk some shop. So hope you all guys are doing well. We also have some specials because of this, and really good February deals, especially with President's Day. So check out the second to last slide and you guys will get that information. All right, so as far as your daily 5, let's get into it. Now I wanted to show this one right off, and this is kind of what I've been leading with for the last few videos with you guys. And we're seeing negative divergences, and they continue to persist in a way. So the number of stocks over their 20-day SMA, and that's not a huge line in the sand to cross. It's kind of like what we need in order for something to be going up, is it needs to stay above the 20-day SMA. And if it can't do that, then it's probably having some problems. And so you can see fewer stocks are over their 20-day SMA, even though the market continues to move up. Now, I will be talking about NVIDIA. It had earnings, and it is helping the market lift. So basically what's happening is we are seeing a handful of stocks, or a concentration of stocks, that are doing well, and the rest are just kind of so-so. The only other nice thing that I could say about this is that once we did get a pullback, you can see that it did kind of recover and it's been doing okay. So this kind of looks like there are a fair number of stocks that are in a trend and are kind of dipping below and above their 20-day SMA and just kind of oscillating back and forth as they maintain a trend. So that generally is good. But I am curious to see if eventually this thing starts to roll over and go down, because that'll help us show us a near term, okay, this is maybe the top, or things are starting to pull back. But in the meantime, it is nice to at least see that it is maintaining and moving up. It's just doing it not at the same level, and so fewer stocks have come along for this ride, but there are still stocks that are moving. We just got to stick with the winners. The other thing that is for me most important is the 50-day SMA, and you can really see that here a lot of stocks fell off. Now this is still a decently healthy number, but a lot of stocks have fallen off, and so again, we got to find the stocks and the concentration of stocks that are moving up compared to those that are not. And I am noticing that there's just a little bit of a tick up right in through here. And so I'm keeping a pretty close eye on this to see, wow, can this market actually continue to resurge again and keep moving up, watching the 20-day as well? Or is this more just going to start turning into some sideways chop until maybe we get a bigger correction to the downside? So don't know these answers quite yet. I'm watching these things. We are in a handful of stocks that are doing very well because the market is still strong, and we are sticking with those. But it is becoming narrower and narrower to find more stocks that are doing well. All right, so let's move on to here. So the S&P, these are some of the things that I want to show you guys as far as partly why there's some concern. The market has been on an absolute tear. Great, and we've been having a good time. We've been trading quite a few stocks that have been doing well, but you can't just buy and hold, because at some point the music's going to stop, and that's kind of our question. So now on the weekly time frame, we are really outside of that third ATR, and well, how long is this going to go? And we could see here, same kind of thing, got to the weekly third ATR and pulled back, and you can see this third ATR eventually pulled back, and third ATR pulled back. All right, so it has been a while. Even on the weekly time frame, we have not touched the weekly 21 for quite some time, and so absolutely fantastic, but we just need to be aware of that as far as the context, because at some point those cows are going to come home roost, or I guess those chickens are going to come back and roost. Technically, the S&P has continued to find support at its daily 21. Now this move up right here is because of NVIDIA earnings. Okay, so roll of the dice basically, but the market still did do its thing and it's up there. Now there is a gap here, so there's a pretty healthy gap here, and we're going to have to see how it wants to resolve itself, because oftentimes when you get gaps, it's going to pull back and want to find some support. So be careful about chasing this. Still look for dips to buy if this market's going to continue. And then the only other thing that has me concerned is that we have been watching the market move up, but the MOXY indicator didn't, and that's when we started to get this pullback. Now Is this enough of a flag to help reset the market? Maybe. But what I'm now concerned about is that the MOXIE indicator is below 0 and price is all the way up here. That is potentially what I call an inverse trampoline move. Price should not be over the 50 if the MOXIE indicator is below 0. So again, just kind of careful out there. The stocks that are working, great, stick with them. But if you have stocks that are not, then just move on from them and protect yourself and stick with the stuff that's doing well. And we'll just have to see whenever this market is really ready to take a bit of a bigger breather. All right, so SMCI and then NVIDIA. I'm showing you guys this because, well, we know what NVIDIA did. Both NVIDIA and SMCI basically bounced off of their daily 21s. Now, SMCI just recently did that, and I got to say, talk about shenanigans in the market, but do you guys all know that Bank of America came out and they issued a buy rating for SMCI at $1,000? Talk about ringing the bell, and basically that's the top. And we all know that those analytics and all that stuff, the analysts come out and they just, they're for manipulation. They do it not for us, they do it for them, and they probably unloaded a whole bunch of shares right at the top and then sold into a lot of stuff. But think about all the people who actually listened to those reports and said, oh my gosh, Bank of America actually wants to buy here, great, I'll do it. And then they just got absolutely hammered. So do be careful about those analysts out there. They're not for us, they're for them. So right now, yes, it is getting a bounce, but we still need to be a little bit cautious, okay? This was a very, very big run, and this really could actually just take some time and trade sideways and chop for a little bit. So just a little bit of caution is warranted in through here. All right, some other names that we have that have been doing well for us. So Mara, here is your MOXIE price trigger. And you can also see that this thing bounced off of its weekly 21. So these were the reasons that I was looking at it. And again, talk about those analysts and, buy the rumor, sell the news. When all those Bitcoin ETFs came out right here, they also got sold into. Kind of like SMCI when that buy rating from Bank of America came out. So just be careful about news like that. I've been very bearish on these, or bullish on these things, and really just waiting to get in. And what I started to notice was that there was a double bottom right through here, and strong MOXIE divergence, and then there was your MOXIE price trigger. So we entered basically as soon as we could that day right there, and then we carried it up and sold it right at the top for 38%. Now we're still hanging on to some because I think these things are still bullish, but I could see that it was likely to pull back, and sure enough it did. And so now all we're doing is letting this thing kind of ride and seeing if maybe the daily 21 can be some strength. So really good moves on this one, the Bitcoin miners, all that kind of stuff, Bitcoin in general, and we'll just have to see, are these things ready to continue to move up, or do they need to digest a little bit more as well? But overall, big picture, still bullish. All right, another one that has done well for us is CRISP, which is CRISPR. This thing had one of the most beautiful setups on the higher time frames that I've ever seen. This thing just gave it away, and we were watching this thing. We took 3 big positions right in through here. That's on the weekly chart, flagging right into the weekly 21. We just kind of had to let some chop go, but notice this was also a trampoline move. So just the opposite of an inverse trampoline move, a regular trampoline move is when price is below the 50 and the MOXIE indicator is above 0, and it's exactly like that. It's imagine like you jump on a trampoline, it shoots you up. So that's why I call it that. And you can see also here's your MOXIE price trigger, and we were loading up right in through here, and boom, up it went. Now we did take some profits here because earnings was right there. It pulled back and then jumped up again. So yeah, we're pretty happy about this thing. It's doing very well, very strong. And I know we took profits at about 28%, so this is probably like 32% or something like that. But you guys can go check it out on your own. It's doing well. And yeah, dips should be viable for something like this. All right, so that is your Daily 5. Thanks for watching, and remember we're running a couple of specials here at Simpler Trading. One of the big ones is we're just $1 for 60 days if you guys want to come in to our Simpler Central room. That's where all of us hang out, and we're all on the mic at various times throughout the day. And just come in and see what's up. Consider it like an open house. Otherwise, we're running a special President's Day sale where we have most things on the store for sale, 30% off, and that one, the code is USA24. But hey, if you have any questions, call our company, our 1-800 number, and they'll explain to you anything you need and hook you up and get you going. So thanks again for checking this out. And if you guys want to find me, we got all the links for the social medias. Come find me on Twitter, I guess X, Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. So would love to see you guys there. And until next time, enjoy.